very good afternoon, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to thank you for the invitation on the IoT 20 years ago in Aceh that happened, devastating impact as a tsunami and also earthquake. I'm Raditya Jati, as a Deputy Minister from BNPB. I would like to share some message that we can share together on the IoT that happened 20 years ago. Tsunami that happened 2004, it was in the 26th of December. I think we are now in the stage that commemorating the 20 years of Indian Ocean tsunami. We are here also, thank you for the UTM that have been organizing this meeting, also in Aceh. We have seen that Indonesia is a very complex and challenging disaster-prone country in Asia, especially in ASEAN, where the Pacific Ring of Fire is actually located for Indonesia and archipelagic state. And we have been large number of population, more than 270 million people are living in Indonesia, and has 17,000 islands here, the largest country that have the islands in the world. I think we are also have many risks behind the beautiful island of the Indonesia. There's a hazard. Certain hazard is also in our country, and we have seen that the last year we have impacted more than 5,000 frequency of disaster in the country, and 95% actually is about climate change or related on hydrometeorological impact. As a wake-up call, 2004, why was a wake-up call at that time? It was beginning that how we can really see the paradigm shift of disaster management into disaster risk reduction. 2005, there's discussion in Hugo framework mentioning on the devastating impact of IoT, and also at that time was the discussion on ASEAN when ADMER 2005 was also established, the implementing body as a AHA center. And also in Indonesia, regulation number 24/2007 as implementability of the BNPB, or the National Disaster Management Authority, have been established. 30 minutes, we need 4 years to rebuild Aceh. 127,000 people have been missing and casually passed away. At that time, it cost more than 7.1 billion to rebuild Aceh at that time. Of course, you can see how the devastating impact of the tsunami itself is the loss and damage value is more than $4 billion. After the tsunami, Aceh as a turning point, as a wake-up call now, we have the regulation framework on disaster management, including on other president decree and also various of regulation, including the institutional structure, including the BNPB. More than 34 provinces now is established, and 90% have been establishing the local disaster management authority. Of course, the funding mechanism, we have also on-call budget. We are also now establishing the pooling fund. It's now working with the Ministry of Finance to establish how we can really see the urgency and the gap of the financial mechanism itself in Indonesia, including on prevention and post of disaster, where rehabilitation and reconstruction is needed. And we also established the long-term plan. This is the first time that Indonesia have the 25 years plan until Indonesia golden years of independence. This is 25 years plan, and every 5 years we have established a national disaster management plan on disaster that now 2025 and 2009 is also one of the things that we are now establishing with the national plan for development in the country. So there's no such thing as a devastating impact like disaster. This is mentioned by the Secretary General, and the deficit of resilience also related on how we can really see that disaster is very deficit in this time. And there's 10 deficit according to Global Assessment Report, mentioning, for example, like infrastructure, climate change, urbanization, flood, and also related on SDGs issues. And during the Global Platform for Disaster Reduction 2022, our President mentioning about sustainable resilience, and this is related on all global commitment related on post-2015 Sendai Framework, Paris Agreement, and also SDGs that has to be worked not in silo. And we would like to have to all the countries to commit it on that, on how we can really put at national and local level, including the preparedness culture, investment on science, technology, and innovation, and including access to funding and technology transfer, and also resilience infrastructure due to disaster and climate change. And after that, we have establishing the Global Forum for Sustainable Resilience, the first time in Indonesia. At that time, we invite all the speakers, participants, on what is actually how to promote and how does really Sendai Framework, Paris Agreement, and SDGs can work together, approaching and align all within to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. So this sustainable resilience have been discussed and also have been adopted during the ASEAN Leader Declaration on Sustainable Resilience at that time in Jakarta, 2023, and all the ASEAN leaders have been agree on what we call the ASEAN Leader Declaration on Sustainable Resilience. The discussion also not only in ASEAN, it was also getting in the G20 working group. Even President Kasaba Kuroji also mentioning in the closing statement on sustainable resilience. And of course, during the APM-CDRR this year in Manila, mentioning the SRRG during the opening ceremony, mentioning about sustainable resilience that have been promoted in Indonesia, this will be also taken care of in ASEAN, Asian also included into the co-chair statement, mentioning that sustainable resilience is a very important issue. And during the presidency Brazil in 2024, Belém also adopted the G20 Disaster Risk Reduction Minister Declaration, mentioning about sustainable resilience within across the sectors, that we cannot work in silo. Multi-sectoral engagement is very important, and the approach to tackle all of this. This year, we have also held the second of Global Forum for Sustainable Resilience in Jakarta, and it's also involved many participants and also speakers around the world. And we have seen that the discussion is not only on what is actually sustainable resilience, but actually how we can really navigate the uncertainty by advancing the sustainable resilience. And we have seen that the product of the sustainable resilience actually combining all the Paris Agreement, Sendai Framework, and Sustainable Development Goals into one package, that we can see that this three document is very important to engage with, to achieve what is actually the Sustainable Development Goals, with all indicators, including the Paris Agreements, indicators, their framework, and also the SDGs. It is also important that sustainable resilience can really achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. You might see that people-centered approach is very important, where people is at center locally, contextually, can achieve that from governance, investment, infrastructure, and science technology, all the 5 key elements related to the pillar of resiliency. And we can see that people-centered approach is very important, how we can really break the silo, to bridge the gap, and also to adopt and develop the roadmap on how we can really achieve the sustainable development or the sustainable resilience as one of the things that we want to achieve. Now, last but not least, I think the Sustainable Resilience Agenda through the high impact of publication. Also, we have seen that there is strongly aligned of sustainable resilience at global scale. We have been mentioning that we recognize the command of the strategic approach of addressing the first of theme each year. In 2025, we understand the tsunami disaster risk and advancing to build back better agenda, humanitarian action in 2026, 2027, innovation technology data for DRR, 2029, fostering resilience through inclusion and social justice and climate adaptation on DRR, and 2030, charting the path towards a global resilience agenda 2045. I think we can also encourage that this plays a very important role on how the processes of BNPB, knowledge, experience, and expertise can be significantly enrich the impact of our publication. So we stand ready for that. For ASEAN, of course, as a model regional cooperation and center of excellence, it's important that ASEAN should be one regional resilience, strengthening the ASEAN center, promoting disaster education, cross-border response capabilities, climate change and rising disaster risk, and also building a stronger ASEAN community. I thank you for this short message that ASEAN should be a transformative region for severely impacted to the 2004 tsunami as a global leader for disaster management. Again, thank you very much. Have a very wonderful seminar. Enjoy your stay in Aceh. Thank you very much.